Alright, so I'm going to talk very much in depth about the Byredo Mineralscapes palette. This is one of the big ones that is 18 shades. They also have 5 shade, the quints. They're also made in Italy, so there's no discrepancy in terms of where they're made, like Huda Beauty has, or even Mcgrath sometimes. But I've already done 12 looks from this palette, and I've only had it for 16 days. So I think it's really great that I've been able to do 12 looks from it. And there are two or three I built on one another. So what I mean is I started with this shade, which is Steel Light, and then I built Painting Land and Sandstone on top of it. So it became a pale gold yellow. I started with that, and then it became into a smoky green look. So in those 2 looks, you can see how you can take this palette from like a simple look to a smoky look. Like you can build on each other. But then I also had a fail of a look where I tried to do a sort of a halo eye with this as the base, and then I wanted to put this pink shade Solar Spark as in the middle as a highlight, but it kind of blended into it. So I also have some advice on how to avoid that for future. But this I tried to recreate from their website, the model. This is the look I was trying to do. And I think this was done with lunar rhythm. Yep, it's called Lunar Rhythm. And I'm going to talk for this entire video. It's going to be with this look. And for this look, on the lips, I used the Charlotte Tilbury Big Lip Plumpgasm in Fair Medium. No blush, no highlight, no contour, no bronzer, nothing. No base products except for foundation concealer. So I would say this palette has like 4 different kind of formulas. So it has the smooth satin shimmer formulas, and then this one and this sort of, they have bigger particles of glitter in it. And then there's also toppers that aren't as opaque as some of the glitters. And then there's 2 mattes, but they're not flat mattes, and they hold their color on, especially on my skin tone, which some mattes don't. Yeah, but they're also not like Pat McGrath mattes, which I appreciate Pat McGrath mattes, don't get me wrong, but they are a little bit harder to blend. If you put too much on your skin, then it's really hard to blend them. So let's start with Pat McGrath comparison. So I have Mothership I to compare it to, because I think color story wise this matches, because I mean, yeah, look, there's a navy blue right there. But I also have Mothership 10, the Moonlit Seduction, because the 4 special shades that Pat McGrath does are different in 10, because she stopped doing baked formulas starting 5 to 10. So I also have, these are super coarse shimmers too, with high particles of shimmers, or larger particles of shimmer, not high. And then I also have, I'm going to compare it to Tom Ford Nude Dip. That's the 03 Nude Dip. I just have it in the limited edition packaging, but this is just the Nude Dip quad. Let me open it up and show. Like, that's Nude Dip. To compare the satin shimmers with. And then I also have the Natasha Denona Circo Loco. There's like 2 shades that I want to compare, but otherwise it's not really comparable. But then the main comparison, the main one that I wanted to do was with the Isamaya Industrial 1.0 palette. And that is because Isamaya French used to be the creative director for Byredo until the Remembrance palette, which I don't remember how long that was. Probably 2 years ago she probably left. Now it's Lucia Pica. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. But Lucia used to be Lucia, because she's Italian. She used to be the creative director for Chanel. And I used to really like what she did for Chanel, because I used to see what she used to do on Kristen, the Bella Swan actress. Can't believe I'm forgetting her name. Like her full name, Kristen. Kristen, okay? My friend Kristen. She used to do her makeup, and I think she still does. But anyway, I'm going off topic. But I wanted to compare the Isamaya palette. That's going to be the main comparison, because I'm sure there's some influence. And there's like, in terms of how the formulas, there's similar ones in here. And some, 1 or 2 shades are similar as well. So let's see. I'm going to try and hold them up side by side. Byredo one is really large, which I appreciate a lot. The mirror has been really handy, and I don't use palette mirrors often. Okay. I have small hands, you guys. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I got a hold of it. I don't want to drop it. Okay. Here is the difference. Or I guess side by side. There's some shades that are similar, but not all. So the Isamaya palette also has 2 mattes, and then there's a couple toppers, and then shimmers with larger particles of glitter, and I won't say, yeah, okay, satin glitters. But yeah, but her mattes are like squishy mattes. Like there's a little dent from me squishing it too hard. And then her toppers are very much toppers, whereas here you can build up the intensity with the toppers. But yeah, I'm going to add my swatches. Okay, I'm going to take my watch off because I need this entire hand for the comparisons. Oh, let me show you what I wanted to compare in Circo Loco. Exactly. There's just 2 shades that I wanted to, and they were the purple, which when you look at it, you'll be like, what did you even want to compare? But I don't know, I just wanted to show how not as vibrant the Byredo palette is as compared to other palettes. So this is, I want to compare this and this shade, those 2. And now that I'm looking at it, maybe even the silver. With that, I wanted to compare to this purple, and then this shade, and then I think this one, yeah. So let's see. Yeah. This is the Byredo palette. Here is Byredo on the right side. Oh, this is my right. Now, right. Here's Circo Loco. So very much vibrant, especially the purple and the silver. Whoa. Yeah, the vibrancy is off the charts. So that is Circo Loco, and then this is Byredo. Now you can see how turned down the volume of the colors is. I don't want to say desaturated per se, but I mean, just look at the vibrancy, you know? The Circo Loco is on the left, and this is Byredo. Like, this was looking so vibrant before, and now the color is kind of not, just gone when compared to Natasha Denona. Okay, let's see. I think out of these, I'm gonna wipe them off because alright. Now for Izumea, I want to do this one because I think there is a shade that is very similar, and then there's also a pink shade in here, a pink flip shade, so I think I'll compare that to this one. So I'm going to compare Solar Spark and River Mist from Izumea, or to Izumea, from Byredo, River Mist, and Solar Spark. Okay, let's see. This is the Byredo shades. Like this one, it's so faint, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna have to double dip for it to show up. Okay. This is Byredo. And right. Whip. That's the green one. So this one, I'm gonna grab that. And then Machine. That's the pink one. So here. In the pan, it looked like they would match, but now that I'm looking at it, they don't match at all. So that was the only similar shades. And in terms of formula, they're a little bit different too. The Izumea one was a little bit more emollient and smoother. Actually, I wouldn't say smoother, I would say more emollient. And the Izumea toppers are very toppery too, meaning they really, really lack color. Or not color, they really, really lack opacity. But in terms of color story and how it's laid out and the creative direction and stuff, you can see how it is similar to Byredo. Like you can see that Izumea used to be Byredo's creative director. And she has a lot of YouTube videos, masterclass. Like she teaches you how to do looks, and her tutorials are really good too. So I would suggest look them up. But let's try. I don't know if there are mattes that compare. The swatches are going to be completely different, and the formula doesn't match either. So I don't think there's any comparisons anymore. So I'm going to not do any. I'll have a separate video for the Izumea palette, and I'm going to do 3 or 5 looks with it. We'll see. Okay. Now, let's do Nude Dip. Let's compare Tom Ford. So this is the wet dry formula. Let's see, which shade? Are there shades that match? Maybe the pink one. And maybe the yellow gold one, which is Steel Light, I think. Yeah. But this is more champagne. It's not really yellow gold. This is Tom Ford, the top two shades. This is what they look like. Very, very stunning. Stunningly beautiful. And then, let's see. So, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think I'll use Sunbeam and Solar Spark. So these two right next to each other. Those look like they would maybe work. Let's find out. Oh yeah, okay. They're similar. But in terms of look, so the Tom Ford ones are satin. But then the Byredo, especially this one, Solar Spark, has some specks of glitter. It's giving it more dimension. So I don't think they're look-wise, color of the look-wise, it's similar, but this one has more sparkly dimension in it. Also, this one is a little bit more yellow. This is champagne. And this one's quite pink. I didn't realize that the Tom Ford was that pink in Nude Dip. Okay, now moving on to Mcgrath. Actually, you know what? I'll try a different formula of Tom Ford. So I have this Island Haze palette. This was their limited edition one, but this is not their wet dry. This is their, what would you say this formula? Just their normal shimmer matte formula. So let's see, what shade can I compare? Is there even shade comparison? I don't think there's a shade comparison. Just formula comparison, I guess. There is like no shade I can compare this palette in. Okay, I'm going to take Steel Light and Pink Flame, even though these shades are going to be vastly different, but this is what it looks like. So a pink and a yellow gold. Ooh, I think I took too much of the yellow gold. So that's what it looks like. Yeah. Wait. The shimmers out of the palette. The gold is kind of piecey. Yeah, the shade doesn't even, they're not even close. This is way warmer. But, and the formula is not really, I guess these two kind of match in formula, but this one is a lot smoother. So this is the Byredo one, it's smooth. This one and this one has glitter particles and isn't as opaque as this, but there. Anyway, the main eyeshadow that I want to swatch is this, and even this, and this also has a corresponding shade. This one doesn't, but I'll swatch it because I want to, because they're very beautiful. Okay, gold, pink glimmer, blue, beautiful blue, and then the blue. Okay. So the Mcgrath shade names are Pale Gold 002. That's going to be this one. Then VR Violet, which is this. Then Blitz Blue and Astral White. So there are similar looking shades for Pale Gold, VR Violet, and Blitz Blue. Astral White doesn't really have any similar colors. So stunning. Okay, this is Mcgrath. Stunning. Okay, I'm going to swatch for the Pale Gold. I'm going to swatch Steel Light. And then for VR Violet, for VR Violet, I'll swatch Solar Spark, even though they're not going to be that similar. And then for Blitz Blue, I'm going to swatch Lunar Rhythm. And then for VR Violet, I don't know, there's not really a shade that matches VR Violet. I guess I'll swatch Mineral. Yeah, similar-ish. This is a first. The Byredo one is more vibrant than the Mcgrath. So this is Byredo on the side of my nose ring. On the side of my nose ring is Mcgrath or Byredo, and then on this side without my nose ring is Mcgrath. So Mcgraths are more, especially these two, are more glittery, topper, PC, fairy glitter type shades. And then these two are quite similar, the Pale Gold. Even the Mcgrath has more shift. It has more shift in it. But yeah, these are the similar ones. And in terms of formula, the Byredo ones are more emollient, and the Mcgrath baked shades are drier. So for Mcgrath to get the most impact for me, I always use fingers. I don't use the brush because I don't get the most impact with that. Or I would wet the brush, but I just use my fingers. That's the best method I've found. For the Byredo, all shades, all the looks that I did, I used only brushes. I didn't use my finger for any of them really. Okay. Now I'll do Moonlit Seduction. Let's see. Which one? For Moonlit Seduction, I don't know if there are any similar shades. Oh, maybe for this one, let's see what it's called. I love how Byredo on the back, it tells you the shade names. It's been so easy. For Mcgrath, you have to go into the box, and that's only if you keep the box. Anyway, Platinum Dusk is what I'm going to compare. And I'll also compare Astral Gold Lust. And I'll also compare Blitz Venus. So this is Platinum Dusk, Blitz Venus, and Astral Gold. So let's see. I'm going to that, and that. Oh yeah, the Mcgrath ones are so much drier. See. And they're also, the glitter is quite piecey. It's has like particles floating around. when you swatch it and when you put it on your eyes, it can float around. That's what I mean. So here is Pat Mcgrath. The Pat Mcgrath side is my non-nose ring side. And I'm going to put Byredo here. This stained. Okay, for Byredo, I am going to use Sandstone, comparing it to Platinum Dusk. And then I'm going to use Steel Light, comparing that to Gold from Pat Mcgrath, and then Pink Solar, I think that was called. Solar Spark to Blitz Venus. So yeah, see, Pat Mcgrath is so glittery. But these two are quite similar in shade. This one is a bit more smoky pewter, but they're quite similar. But yeah. So let's see. I'm going to choose my favorite shade from each formula. So I'm going to choose Rock Bed because I really like this shade. This reminds me of, you know, the Victoria Beckham single shadows. I'm going to put the shade name because I forgot what the shade is called. And this. So this is my favorite matte. This is kind of less opaque shimmer. This is the shimmer, and then this is a very high particled glitter shade from each. Matte, less opaque shimmer, smooth satin shimmer, and then high particled shimmer. So I think these are the 4 formulas, I think, in the palette. Oh, I guess I didn't mention the weight and stuff. So all palettes that I showed were all made in Italy, so that's the same. The Izumea one, I think, is 95 pounds. I got it on 20% off, so you could get it less. The Izumea one is 17.5 grams for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14 shades, 17.5 grams. Then this one is 30 grams, almost twice the weight. And I think this is like 105 euros. So $125. And then this is $115, I think. So this is way better price wise. You get more. But I think in terms of color story and uniqueness and concept, I think they're both really good. And then for Pat Mcgrath, let's see. Mothership 11 is 19.5 grams and Mothership 1 is 13.2 grams. So there's a discrepancy over there. I think it's because the Mothership 1 had baked shades. So like half, less than half Mothership 1 of Byredo. And then the Tom Ford, I don't even remember how much Tom Ford costs anymore because I mostly get Tom Ford from Cosmetic Company, which gives like, oh my god, this is so laughable. Tom Ford is 10 grams for 4 shades. And I'm sure it's like 80 pounds or something. I don't even know. But yeah, that's like a third of this Byredo palette. So in terms of cost per gram and whatnot, the Byredo one is the best value. And even the color story wise, it's quite different. So yeah, I would recommend. Oh, I never said about Natasha Denona Circo Loco. Circo Loco is Oh my god. Circo Loco is 37.5 grams. So I guess Circo Loco is more than Byredo, but it's also... I got the Circo Loco for 50% off. So I think I got mine for $60, but I think it's usually $120. So I guess price-wise Circo Loco is the best, but I really like all these palettes. But this Byredo one, if you haven't noticed, I've used the most, and I've only had it for 14 days in my collection. All of these palettes I've had for so long, but this is the most I've used. And all of these have, it's been a year, and this is the one I've used the most. So it might also be that I'm more creative, like it's mental state and whatnot. Obviously you need to take that into account, but this is a very inspiring palette, I think. Like I did, what, 12 looks with it, 12, 13 looks. I think it's really good. Also, this packaging is so pretty. It gets so minimal, but still so pretty. Very high impact packaging. Okay. One last look at the look, because I'm going to wipe it off and go to bed, because it is 4:30 a.m. I need to go to sleep. Okay.